Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at Helium MIDI sequencer and AudioScope multi-channel live mixer, okay, and how you can set up really cool sessions. So I have one instance of a Helium controlling FAC drum kit, these two SynthMaster 1, String Lab, VA Poly 2, Piano Tech, SynthMaster 2, and a Gladstone called Gladstone Gadget. Okay, and you can see that underneath each of those there is an instance of AudioScope. Right, I am going to do a completely fresh setup and explain exactly how I set this up and how you can do the same thing to achieve really cool results. It's really great. Right, first of all, I am going to give you a demo and play this little session, take a couple of minutes, so you get an idea of the kind of thing you can do. I won't go into any detail, I'll just play the track. Okay, cool beans. That sounds really good, right? So I'm going to explain how all of this is done in some detail so that you know exactly what to do. Because I think Helium and AudioScope together are just amazing, because I only need to use one instance of Helium for up to 16 tracks. That's really cool. So quick cut here while we just jump to in fact, no, we won't even bother cutting. Let's just save this in case I made any adjustments, which I definitely didn't. But you never know. It's always good to continually save stuff. Open our files. I'm just going to go to this new mic channel. Sorry about that, where there was a cut there. And I'm going to just do some adjustments here. 1, 2. And boost the volume a little bit with the DS. So 1, 2, 2, 2. And that should be fine. Right. Okay. So first of all, let's add a MIDI channel and add in Helium. And I'm not going to get too complex here. I'm just going to open Helium and explain a couple of things. Now, if I press the track, you can choose the different tracks up to 16 tracks, right? If I long hold, you'll see here that it says MIDI bus 1. In a default version of Helium, right, you will have 4 MIDI ports. These are like MIDI ports, okay? What you do is you set the amount of MIDI ports you want here. Now it defaults to 4, but set the amount of MIDI ports you want, and then you have to restart Helium and open it again, and that's it. So, and then it'll just remember. So I've set up all 16 ports for these 16 tracks. It just makes more sense, you know. You've got different menu options and stuff and settings and all the rest of it. You can do all that kind of stuff, but in its most basic stuff, all I'm going to do here is just set a loop point for, shall I do, no, I'll just do 4 bars. Okay, we'll keep this simple, otherwise it could go on for ages and ages. So I'm just going to set this at 4 bars, and that's it, job done. I'm going to hit sync like this, so it's synced to the host tempo, and you see when we play, it plays. And I'm going to make sure that loop is switched on so that when it plays along here like this, it just loops back. Let's just make sure that's working. I'm sure it is. Okay, done. That's it. We've set up Helium how we want it. Stop it with the host transport, of course. Right, okay. Now I'm going to set up, I'm not going to do 16, I'll do 5. I'm going to set up 5 audio channels just for starters. Okay, we'll go back to the first one, and I'm going to add in the instrument I want to use first. So audio unit extension, I will choose SynthMaster 1 to start with, and I'm going to make sure that the volumes are all turned down on these as well, because some of these initial sounds may be really loud. Now I'm going to route Helium to this SynthMaster 1. Okay, so I want my MIDI keyboard to trigger Helium so I can record in data from any of these synths that I put into Helium. So it's really easy to do this. I'm just going to click on this here, and where it says MIDI inputs here, I'm going to choose my MIDI keyboard, right? And then I'm going to open the toaster again. You see it says MIDI outputs. You'll see that I have 16 of these. And like I said, you know, if you haven't got 16 of them, you can adjust them the way I showed you, but you will just need to restart Helium. And then every time you open Helium, have all the ports you need. So I have my 16 ports here, and I have MIDI input coming from my MIDI keyboard. You can see the little light there when I press the key step. Okay. You can also do this from here. You can open this and you'll see it says Helium, and you'll see you'll have 16 ports, and you can choose port 1 for this. And now I can play SynthMaster from my MIDI keyboard. And if we look back inside of this, you'll see that port 1 is going to SynthMaster. And since that's the only one we have, that's absolutely cool beans. Okay, so let's move along to another one now. Let's audio unit extension. Let's choose Piano Tech. Okay, and what we need to do now is send Piano Tech to port 2. So if we go into Helium, we've got track 1, right? And we know this is SynthMaster. I'm going to send port 2 to Piano Tech. We won't hear anything now, only SynthMaster 1, because we need to go into Helium, okay, here. And we just need to go roll track 2, right? Stop that a sec. Right. This is important. This is why I haven't cut this bit. I'm still hearing SynthMaster, right? We need to go into track 2, long hold, and select MIDI channel 1. We leave MIDI channel 1 on Helium the whole time, right? And select bus 2. Now we'll hear Piano Tech and not SynthMaster. But this will make more sense now as we go along, right? So I'm going to leave that mistake in so you can see what I did wrong, so you don't make the same mistake. I'm going to open up another channel now. Let's move this out of the way. I'm going to open another channel and put in another synth or something. Let's put in SynthMaster 2. And all we need to do is find a sound for that. But we can do that in a bit. First of all, we need to make our connections. Let's go into Helium. Oh, it's already open. Go into Helium. This, select track 3. Long press on here. Take that back to MIDI. You don't need to keep going back to MIDI channel 1, but you then need to set the MIDI channel for the instrument to 3 as well. Number 3. And just need to connect it up here. Let's do this to port 3. And now we have our sound from SynthMaster 2. Let's do another one. Let's do Gladstone again because it's good for percussion. Audio unit extension. I'm going to put a Gladstone in there. Same thing again. Very simple. In fact, I can do this straight away. I'm going to go right this here this time. Helium port 4. Okay. Go back to Helium. Select track 4. Long hold. Leave it on MIDI channel 1. And select this to port 4. And now I need to, there it is, find the track for my, the range on my MIDI keyboard. Right, okay. So that's all set up. And let's add one more in. Let's close that for a sec. Let's add in a FAC drum kit. for some drums. Okay, basically the same setup as we had, but I'll play something different. And again, it's the same thing. We can do this from here or from Helium. We can just set this to, let's go back, sorry. Go back here, we go Helium and port 5 now, and then go back to Helium and go to track 5. Now you may all think this is tedious, but once it's set up, you're good to go for lots of different things, and you can save the session, etc. So now we have, that's FAC drum kit. In fact, we can change our drum kit as well. So let's start by choosing a drum kit in FAC. Let's try another one. Brilliant. We'll use that drum kit. Sounds really nice. Let's control the volume a little bit. Right, so now on track 5 we have our MIDI set up to record into this. So we'll start by giving ourselves a metronome in AUM, make sure sync is still on and loop, etc. And all we need to do now is start the transport, make sure recorder's on, start the transporter off. And when it comes back around, I'm just going to record in a dead basic drum pattern. Okay, stop record, find another sound like a hi-hat. Okay, I'm going to record that in. Cool, switch record off, otherwise you will record everything in. We can stop that annoying metronome now. So now we've got our FAC drum pattern down sort of thing. Now of course you can go on and on and on and on and you know, build up drum patterns, loops. Doesn't matter how long the loop is, it's MIDI. Right, okay, so let's tap on this now and go back to track 1. And we know track 1 is our synth by playing my MIDI keyboard. You see, now it's getting easier, right? All we need to do is select a track. So for example, oh, I want to play piano tech. Just select track 2. There we go, track 2. And then back to 3, which should be SynthMaster 2. And then back to track 1, which is this SynthMaster. So I'm going to choose a different sound. I'm maybe going to use this organ sound, and all I need to do is really just hit play and work out something to play. I'll play something simple. So I'll something easier than that. I'll just play something. Cool. Let's turn that drum pattern down for a bit, and this. So now let's record something in for piano tech. So we know piano tech is number 3 or 4? No, it's number 3, isn't it? So, no, it's number 2. Let's go to track 2. So I'm going to choose a sound from piano tech. Although I could do that later because it's all MIDI. Let's go in here. I'm going to just choose a CP80 electric grand and just a line output one. just going to record that in. So go to Helium now, hit record. Stop record, that's all done. Let's go along. Let's put some percussion in now for our last one for Gladstone. So let's just stop that a sec. Let's go and find a percussion kit. Let's open this up and choose percussion from somewhere down here. Let's see what we've got in this. And change the channel so we can play it, which is, I think, number 5. So we'll open up Helium. Go to track 5. Is it 4, 5? No, track is it? We just need to find our track. It must be number 4. And there we go. So number 4. So we definitely need to give ourselves some volume so we can hear what we're doing. Yeah, it's number 4. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. So something dead easy. Let's give it some volume. You can always control the volume later. So I'm gonna just record something simple. In with that. Catch it on the way round. Okay, so now quantize is on 116, by the way, but you can set it as you wish or have it switched off. Okay, just one more to record in now. So just one more to record in, and that is for SynthMaster 2. So I'm going to go and find my track 3 here. So track 3. There's a little asterisk appears when there's any data recorded into a track, so you can see what's empty and what's not. We know this is SynthMaster, and I'm going to find a bass sound for this. So this is a sequence. We don't want that. I want to go and find some sort of, I don't know, bass. I don't want a sequence, so I'm just gonna. That's a cool bass sound. We'll use that. Let's just play a bit of this. Yeah, that'll do it. We can worry about the mix in a minute. That's for AudioScope. So open Helium. We know we're on our right channel, track 3. And remember, MIDI bus 3, we can stay on MIDI channel 1. Let's hit record. Okay. All right. So, as always, in case anything happens, let's save this session and let's save it as Helium, and AudioScope. So if anything crashes, we can also go at least get back to this point. Hopefully nothing will crash right now. At this point, right, don't play anything else here. Just reset all this stuff to 0 dB. And what we're going to do is open this and find AudioScope and add this AudioScope into every channel, right? So audio unit extension, AudioScope. Nothing fancy, just add the same AudioScope in to each channel. And you can add more later. You can do what you like. AudioScope will deal with up to 32 inputs. Okay, so you could go on and on outside of your 16 MIDI tracks, or add another Helium in, etc., etc. We're going to get beyond ourselves if we do that right now. Well, SynthMaster 1, Piano Tech, SynthMaster 2, Gladstone. This is important we know what's what. So let's open Helium, AudioScope, sorry, and I'm going to move this down here. Now, when I tap this where it says control, okay, you'll see our 5 AudioScope instances that are available for us, right? We're going to select our first one here, which is already selected for us. And here, I'm going to rename this to, where's my thing? I'm going to call it SynthMaster, SynthMaster 1. And I'm just going to go set. And you'll see now that this is now called SynthMaster 1, and this is called SynthMaster 1. I'm going to go to my second one now, here, and I'm going to rename this to Piano Tech. So you'll see it defaults to AudioScope 2. We want to recall this Piano Tech because our track is Piano Tech. Now I'm going to open this up a little bit more, see if you can see the thing. So name, right, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, Piano Tech, just so we know that that's our piano. And the same, I'm going to go with number 3 and call that SynthMaster 2. You can call it whatever you like, SynthMaster bass or lead or whatever, SynthMaster 2. But it's good to have an idea of what's going on. It's just a way to do it. Right, let's move on. And number 4, which was, I think, Gladstone. Yeah. So we'll just call that Gladstone then. And that's done. And then FAC drum kit, which is number 5. FAC drum kit. I'll do it with a capital D. Otherwise it'll do my editing. Right, anyway. Set. So now we have our 5 instances of AudioScope named, because we can see where we're at. Now, you need to add each of these instruments now to AudioScope. Okay, so otherwise it won't see them. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So first thing you will need to do is go to mix like this. Okay, now I would suggest doing this first. Go to settings, right? And then go to live mix options and increasing this range to something like 50 or 80. 80 is the max, but this is so you can see anything that goes in. So we'll leave it on 50 for now, and then we can adjust it if we have to. To add any instrument to, you can do it one by one, or you can do it in a group. So I'll show you both ways, right? If we are in mix, right, and whatever's selected here, so if I was to go back and say select SynthMaster 1 and long hold mix, SynthMaster 1 will be added to the actual thing. And again, I'll move that out of the way a sec. I could go to Piano Tech, long hold mix, and Piano Tech will be added. But say you've got loads and loads, and this is going to get really, it's going to be boring, right? You're having to add them all. So we can add all of them, right? If we want to get rid of anything, we can just select it and hold mix again, and it will go away. Do it for both of them. Go in here and go settings, and go live mix options, and then enable live mix. Okay, all instances, and it'll put them all in a big blob at the top here, like this. So you have to move them out of the way, like that. Okay, and there's our 5 tracks. But if we want to do it a different way, let's get rid of these for now. I could leave these in, but I want to show you different ways you can do this, right? So, and any mistakes that I make, I'm going to leave in. Let's go into this again. Not initialize mix. We don't want to do that. Settings. Live mix options. Enable live mix. Yes, all instances. And it's going to put them there where we last left them. But if we go into our mix bar now and we long hold stereo, initialize mix for all instances. Yes, and that will take them all down to the bottom here where you can see what's going on. Now we can start to make our settings. So if we play, you can hear them all, right? So I want to increase the range, the decibel range. So again, go into live mix options, and now we've got more control. So I'm going to take, so click on to select and then move. So now all you can basically hear is FAC drum kit, and you can take it up to where you want. If you take it too high, you see it starts to clip. Drag it back down, it'll go red. Okay, and now you can mix in the others. Now, of course, if you're wearing headphones, you'll hear that moving left and right is the pan, and up and down is the volume mix. Okay, so let's bring up SynthMaster 2. Don't forget it's bass, so you might want to, I mean, you can put it right over it, don't matter. Or you, that's the drum kit, sorry. Get out of the way a bit. That underneath there. It's difficult with the mouse, it's easy with your fingers. So you've got that now, and then you could bring in, say, maybe Gladstone. And then Piano Tech. And then SynthMaster 1. Okay. So this is fine. Let's initialize the mix again. Let's just do this initialize mix. Oh, no, not that initialize mix. I'm going to go into my mix bar here, long hold stereo, and go, yeah, we'll just initialize this. And it'll take them all back down. Now, we can start arranging stuff now with our snapshots and our stuff like this. And let's bring our drum kit up to a position where we're happy with it in the mix. So, sounds fine to me. I'm going to open my snapshot bar, and I'm going to long hold on this. Oh, this will initialize my sets. I'm going to leave them on 3 seconds, but if you long hold, I can overwrite this snapshot and go, right, well, have that on 5 seconds. And the transition time between snapshots would be 5 seconds. We're going to leave it on that. Put that back where it was. And then I'm going to mix in, say, my SynthMaster 2. So we've just got our bass. I'm going to click on this, and it'll ask me to overwrite that snapshot. Or you can clear it and start again, you know. Or just adjust the glide time, but I want to completely overwrite it. So 5 seconds. now I've got two snapshots, right? Here's snapshot 1. Snapshot 2. Let's bring in our piano tech now. Let's have that as snapshot 3. So long hold. I should have initialized all settings before I started. That's why it's like this. So we'll overwrite that. We'll have that 5 seconds as well, just for fun. Bring in Gladstone now. Okay, snapshot 4. Long hold, overwrite the snapshot. 5 seconds again, just for fun. Let's bring in SynthMaster 1. Oh, make sure you're highlighted on it. I just want to make an adjustment to that Gladstone as well. Snapshot 5. Override. 5 seconds. So now we've used all 5, but then we can start making adjustments to the panning and stuff. So we could go right, extreme. Let's have that as snapshot 6. Let's overwrite that and have it 5 seconds. Oh, let's have that 8 seconds. Okay. Let's bring our drum kit back in. Okay, so snapshot 7. Let's have this one really quick. So snapshot 2. You can have it instant as well. So for example, let's take SynthMaster 2 away, the bass. Let's mix this one out. Set those like that. And this one, we'll open this up and override snapshot again. We'll have this one instant. Just go through the snapshots we've got. That was the instant one. Okay, now of course with AudioScope you can do so much more than just mix and match your stuff around. If we take a look at, say, this SynthMaster 2, let's just ignore these snapshots for a moment because they're all kind of in there. If you can move them around and do what you like with them, you know, let's just take the volume of the drums down a little bit, kind of do that, bring piano tech in a bit, bring it all kind of more in a little bit central. If we open the mix bar, you have all sorts of stuff. So whatever you're selected on, for example, this SynthMaster 2, and I play, let's solo this. Let's bring it up in the mix. See, whatever you can solo anything. If we open stereo, let's bring it up a little bit louder. Stereo, we can make it super wide or basically down to mono, and this is for whatever you select. So for example, if I select piano tech, you can also group stuff together. So for example, with the drums, like Gladstone is obviously a drum. If I open group and select, like this, Paul's give you names, so let's go with drums, and I'm going to put in this into drum group as well. Okay, what that means now is, let's just take that down. What that means now is that if I choose my group filter here and go, oh, drums, I'll only see the two drums, but it won't be, if I take solo off, you'll still hear all the instruments. We have other options here as well. Again, you can enable live mix style. So if I click on this, you'll now see the stereo spread. So if I hit stereo, make sure I'm selected on my drums, which I am. Also set up different mixes for comparison. You can also customize our color scheme, of course. Filter all. Change our view back. And okay, let's go back to our snapshots. Okay, so let's take a look at the drum kit, and you can do the same for everything. Also, we have an EQ for whatever we're selected on. So make sure our drum kit is selected. Go to mix, go to our EQ. You also have a compressor in case you had a super loud sound, you know. Awesome stuff. It's got a ratio for the compressor here as well. Okay, which you won't hear until you start using the compressor. We have a shelf, which is good for taking out any frequencies that might be interfering with each other or boosting them. Like we could go, oh, okay. Well, you won't hear anything there, but you will there. We have peak metering here, and you have different, let's just close that a sec. You have different ways you can monitor your stuff. And different ways of averaging out what you see, which which is good if you're trying to make comparisons, which is also very cool. That just bypasses the entire mix and goes back into, you know, AUM. Very cool. And other things that you can do as well. Anyway, there you go, guys. That's basically it. You can go on and on. Like, say you could add something else in, like a noir that has nothing to do with Helium, something that's just generating sound on its own. Just add it to the next channel. In fact, we'll do that. Let's add in something that's just going to make noise on its own. We'll add in a noir here, noir, Ruse Maker Noir. And at the moment, it's not connected to anything other than AUM. So if I open this up now and choose a factory patch, just some hi-hats, right? What we're going to hear now is just our, depending on what AudioScope, you can open any of these AudioScopes, by the way. They're all exactly the same. If you go to mix, you'll start to see your stuff, you know, or you can just use the one to control them all. It's just that you have to have one at the end of each effect line. So if you add, say, for instance, some reverbs here, always put AudioScope at the end of the line. All right. Now, all we'll hear is, if I turn noir down, so I don't want to hear that just yet, we'll just hear the drums. But if I bring noir up now, you'll hear that. Okay, because it's not connected to AudioScope. So we need to connect this to AudioScope. So we need to add in AudioScope. Here it is. Add AudioScope in. And let's go back to our main one, which is all set up properly, and look at mix. Here's our mix here. And let's look at this. You will see we have added another one here, AudioScope 6. Let's select that. Let's name it Noir, because that's what it is, and go set. And you'll see it's really quiet, right? So again, I'm going to make sure that I am on my, actually, I think I am. I think I'm good to go there. I'm going to take this right down. So now when I press play, you're just going to hear this FAC drum kit again, but you'll see that Noir is turned up in the mix. Won't make any difference. So now what we can do is go, say, let's look at snapshots. Go to snapshots 8, and let's bring up Noir. You can find it. Let's call that snapshot 9. Gonna have this go 5 seconds. And of course you can blend Noir into any of your other snapshots now and just overwrite that particular snapshot. Okay, awesome stuff. I am gonna finish by playing through this little session. If you watch this via Premiere, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Please strike that like, subscribe to the channel, etc. Make a super chat or a super sticker if you can. That would be very cool. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found it useful. Ways you can set up Helium to control at least 16 instances. And if you want more, just add another Helium and you've got 32, etc. Make sure that you do the tip that I said, and when you go in here, you set up your MIDI buses to be up to 16. Otherwise, you will only have 4. I mean, you can use MIDI channels. It's just easier to use the ports. It's easy to connect them, you know, and you only need to use one channel, and you only need to use, you don't need to change the channel on your MIDI keyboard. It's all just set on channel 1, sending out to different ports, which is super handy. Anyway, great stuff. Right, Guys, I will see you later. Ta-da. Thanks for watching. Let's start with this.